shit, and it was all very like there was ones where I wasn't even invited
was
to.
it like was it like a fucking one of those bullshit fucking business mixers where they're like, yeah, you could bring a +1, I guess, but we got to keep this down to the industry.
Yeah, no,
like, fuck
stuff,
you.
Well, stuff like that.
I'm here to have fucking fun.
It was more like the energy the whole weekend was like you knew some friends that were invited to something, and then you were like, oh, how'd you get an invite? And then they were like, oh, dude, I've heard from this person, and then for at least for Shay and I, kind of turned into a thing where it's like we wanted to like go where everyone was going, but then eventually we just got sick of it, and we're just like, all right, we're just gonna go to a fucking barcade and have a good night.
The Misfits party, the strategy was get an Airbnb, get a really big Airbnb, stay there. And then maybe throw a party, and then when people were like, "You want to throw a party?" We're like, "Yeah,
dude."
We're like, all right, so, how much should we get to drink? You just buy out half a liquor store,
dude.
Okay, like, what should we do for weed? I don't know. Go on Weed Maps. Buy 5 ounces of weed. We buy 5, dude. It was like for each.
You guys were living like rock stars, is what it was.
But the thing is, for each half, the dude, the guy, the drug dealer came from the dispensary in a black van with like 3 security guards with fucking guns on their hips. And the guy comes out, he's like, yeah, who ordered this? And we're like, yeah, it was this house, it's us. And then he goes, oh, I need 5 IDs. And we're like, why do you need 5 IDs? He goes, because I can only give an ounce to like each person. So I need 5 IDs so that these go to 5 individual people. And we're like, yeah, all right. So we got 5 IDs, we got all the weed. And then we're like, how do we invite people? We're like, we'll just start by like inviting streamers and YouTubers, and if they want to invite whoever the fuck they want, I mean, they can.
Oh my God.
We had no security. It was pretty bad,
crazy.
Honestly.
What I was telling to Jschlatt was that, like, my perception, because this had led into Jschlatt's talking about his first showing up, and like this Misfits party was one of the first things that Jschlatt post face reveal went to, and like this was our first. This was at least my first sort of like influencer kind of convention, besides like VidCon, but like this was all very, very new to me at the time. I kid you not, my memory of it, I don't know if you ever saw like the new Great Gatsby movie, like the most recent one, but there's a party scene in that. If you had to give that, like compare that, what happened with the Misfits thing to that party scene, it was the Great Gatsby party scene of influencer parties.
It was pretty close. We had people like being like, I'm going to jump off the balcony into the pool, and people being like, no, you shouldn't do that. It's really shallow.
And it was an Airbnb.
Like, I'm going to do it, and people going like, yeah, I'm going to do it anyways. There were people that like were. I just remember XQC fucking sliding down the railing of the stairs.
I do.
Like,
I remember
sliding down the railing.
Dude, I remember Chad. Anything for views? Like,
yeah, anything views
like,
there.
Like he was like in just boxers, just like stepping down the stairs. And at that, there was like this stairway that went up in the middle of the building. And like at that point, it was well into the party, so the stairs were like, they turn into kind of like the moon juice, like the floor of a bar, kind of. So he's going down these fucking sticky stairs. He's fucking like high and wasted out of his mind. I was looking around. I'm like, what the fuck is happening in this place? Nothing like that at TwitchCon this year.
Dude. I mean, it's a shame. We would have loved to have gone. It just wasn't. It just didn't really work out. Maybe next year though, we'll go again through another party. It's nice to hear. It's nice to hear that we're missed. It's very nice to hear that we're missed.
3 fucking years,
3 years later,
and they're still talking about it.
Well, it's the first TwitchCon that's happened since then, too. I mean, it's
that's true. That's
true.
They're
like, oh, man, this was going to come this year? Oh, shit. How am I supposed to have fun now?
How often do you think you're going to be seeing fucking gamers doing keg stands?
Oh,
I haven't seen it since. I'll tell you that much. I haven't seen it since.
It was pretty crazy. That night was...
It was some real hangover shit. It was especially when like this group of people came in. Nobody knew who the fuck they were. This guy picked up like a little pamphlet off the thing that was like showing like what the house was and the layout and shit. It was like for realtors. And he picked it up and he started saying like, oh yeah, I own the house. Everyone follow me. And he was like getting a bunch of there was a bunch of scantily clad women and then like a bunch of really jacked fucking like muscly guys. And then they went upstairs into one of the bedrooms, the one with the sauna built in, and they started shooting porn.
Right. I heard about this.
You remember this, right? Yeah, they started shooting porn.
I didn't witness it, but I just heard all about it the next day.
We had to go upstairs. We open the door. We walk in. There's two bitches got their shirts off. There's two guys sitting there. There's a guy with a camera out. We're like, what the fuck are you guys doing? They're like, don't worry about it. We're like, what do you mean? We like, this is our house. This is our party. What do you mean, don't worry about it? And we were like, you guys gotta like silence. You gotta
I wonder
leave.
how they found out about that. Like, do they have a fucking dispatch for like, for Airbnbs that are getting rented out by random influencers so they can guerrilla style run and gun a fucking porn shoot? Like, how did
there must have been 500 fucking people at that house. Like, all in all, people coming in and people coming out. So, like, there were probably just people, like, from the convention center that are like, oh, yeah, I'm a YouTuber, some YouTuber streamer with their fucking 20-person entourage. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, I'm going to this party. Oh, well, can we come? Yeah, sure. They don't say no. And so they kind of rock it with 20 people. No one knows who the fuck they are. I'm there incognito without my mask on, walking around. We had a name tag called Swagger Souls. I think we put it on Travis, and then Travis was walking around, and then Two Mad saw Travis and was like, Swagger Souls, no way! And they started talking with him, having a conversation. And he was like, wait, you're not Swagger Souls. It was.
I remember the video you guys filmed. You two filmed with Ted just standing there. Swagger was recording it. I'm Swagger Souls.
Well, we did it again actually recently when you were last in the U.S. as well. We did.
Yeah, when I missed my fucking flight. I missed my flight.